live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello and welcome to the National News of Rupavahini. We are coming to you live from the National News Studio of Rupavahini. I'm Delanjali Ananda. Joining me is Chaita Mirupurarachi. And these are the top stories which have made headlines for tonight. 4 persons, including Sanat Nishanta and Milan Jayatilaka, have been placed under detention till the 25th in connection with assaulting protesters. A request has been made from consumers not to stand in petrol and gas queues in the next 3 days. Unloading of gas has been obstructed by inclement weather. Today marks the 13th anniversary of liberating motherland from tiger terrorism. 14,400 promotions in the 3 armed forces in connection with the war commemoration. A Velamulli Vaikal commemoration at the Golface. The Prime Minister responds to Patali, Harin and Manusha. P. Ariwalan, who was imprisoned for 31 years over Rajiv Gandhi killing, has been freed. Now for those and other stories in detail. The Ministry of Power and Energy requests the people to refrain from standing in queues of petrol and gas in the next 3 days. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara said in Parliament today that however adequate quantities of auto and super diesel are being distributed.
It has also been disclosed in Parliament today that although unloading of gas in a ship at the harbours has commenced, the work could be delayed due to the present inclement weather conditions. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara said that by now the country has received adequate quantities of diesel. He further said that by yesterday it has been possible to distribute both super and auto diesel to filling stations island-wide. Super and auto diesels have been provided to 1,190 filling stations continuously. He added that there is no problem relating to petrol. A ship carrying petrol has been stranded in Sri Lanka sea territory since the 28th of March this year. Due to the prevailing financial crisis of the country, it does not have enough dollars to make the payments. Sri Lanka is in debt of $53 million to the same ship for supplies carried out several months ago. The shipping line is already ready if payments were made for both shipments. The minister added that they were still not been able to find money, but a cabinet paper has been presented to recover the funds. He also said that they are hoping to free the ship by tomorrow. Minister Wijayasekara said and also requested consumers not to remain in queues to receive petrol. There is no problem with diesel. The Prime Minister and the Financial Ministry have paid money for those 2 shipments yesterday. Roughness in the sea has prevented the unloading of a gas ship at the Colombo harbour. He added that the Litro company will engage in gas distribution from tomorrow. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that they have received Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that they have received $160 million from the World Bank, but the money could not be used for procurement of oil. The Asian Development Bank is also scheduled scheduled to hand over money. However, Sri Lanka has defaulted in the payment of a debt of $30 million to the ADB. The Prime Minister has expressed concern over the plight of the government servants as well as the three-wheel drivers. There is a problem pertaining to the supply of fertilizer as well. It would take some time to hand over fertilizer stocks for the Maha season. The Premier has reiterated the need for all to get together to resolve the crisis.
ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම එදිනෙදා තියෙන ආදායම නැහැ ආණ්ඩුවට බයිනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට බයිනවා මොකද්ද මුන් කරන්න කියලා අහනවා ඕක නැත්ත තත්ත්වේ ඉතින් අපි මේක කරන්නේ නැත්තම් නිකන් බෙදිලා සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට කරනවා නම් අන්තිමට අපි ඔක්කොම ගිලිනවා විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ පෙට්‍රල් එව්වා කියන මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳෙන්නේ නැහැ විශාල ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු කමිටි ක්‍රමයේ මාර්ගයෙන් අපි ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා ඒ කියන්නේ අපි එනතුමානේ සාකච්ඡා කරමු පෝර ගැන දැන්ට අනුක්ත කළ දින පෝර ඔක්කොම ගෙනත් දෙනවා ඒත් මං හිතන්නේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම රට උවමනා පෝර දැන්ට තියෙනවා කියලා. අපිට තියෙන්නේ මහ කන්නේට සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පෝර ලබා ගන්න. අපිට තියෙනවා යම්කිසි කාලයක්. ඒ කාලේ තමයි අපිට අමාරුම කාලය වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් එතෙන්ට අපිට මූණ දීලා කොහොමද යන්නේ කියලා මේ සභාවක් හැටියට. කවුද උනේ වගකීම් ඔක්කොම හොයලා බලන්න. ඒක කමන්නේ. මේකට වගකීම් ඔය මිනිස්සු හෙව්වා කියලා ඒ වාර්තා අපිට කන්න බෑ. ඉතින් අපි එකක් තියෙන්නේ මේ වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න. ඊටු ටික හොයාගන්න. මම හිතන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව එකට එකතු වෙලා මේ ගමන යන්න තියෙනවා. ලංකාවේ ඉතිහාසයේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට
Parliamentarian Dr. Harsh De Silva said that a 30-day grace period for the repayment of debt ends today. Therefore, Sri Lanka becomes a country failed to honour debts from today. The debt burden is around $5.5 billion in the coming 12 months. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the detailed report will be prepared by him. Lack of information and inaccurate information and obstacles in the preparation of reports. The country does not have even $1 million, even though the total debt is around $10 million. He has requested the Parliament to conduct a debate in this third week of the month.
Accusations have been launched in Parliament today as well over Ranil Wickremesinghe accepting the post of Prime Minister in order to safeguard the Rajapaksas. The Prime Minister has responded to the charges made by member S.M. Marikar in this regard. Parliamentarian S.M. Marikar said that this government was unable to enter into an agreement even in the appointment of the Deputy Speaker. He added that they are wondering whether the Prime Minister is trying to become a guardian of Rajapaksas. It is questionable whether they would become the guardians of the people. He has inquired whether the Prime Minister is now free from the charges of central bank scam and Easter attack.
විශේෂයෙන්ම කියන්න ඕන මේ පොට්ටුවේ ඉන්න අය තමයි මේට අවුරුදු දෙකමාරකට කලින් අගවැත්තුමාට මහා බැංකුව කැඩුවා රට පාවල දුන්නා පාස්කෝ වෙන්න ඉඩ දුන්නා කියලා චෝදනා නගලා තමයි බලයට ආවේ. අද ඒ චෝදනා වලින් එතුමා නිදහස් වෙලා තියෙනවද?
මම මේ කණ්ඩායම එකකටත්
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he has requested 2 weeks' time to set up a new team. He said that he came to do a job and there is no need to engage in mudslinging. The government is acting according to the law. 2 MPs have been arrested after his comments. He also said that he has nothing to do with protecting Rajapaksas. He said everybody must change themselves as we all are culprits. He added that the Golfist protesters are completely disillusioned with traditional politics.
And meanwhile, Parliamentarian Ramesh Patirana said in Parliament today that although the President has instructed the relevant police to present the attack on Golfist agitators on the 9th of this month, the IGP and the Secretariat of the Ministry of Public Security have disregarded the order. He has also said that due to the incorrect utterances of some politicians, there had been a tendency to attack the protesters at the Golfist. MP Ramesh Patirana said that a group of persons from Galle have arrived in Temple Trees to bid farewell to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa after learning that he was going to resign. He added that only less than 10% of the persons who have assembled at the Temple Trees were on the way to Kogama for the attack. He said that he was at the Temple Trees at the time and telephoned DIG Tennakon at the unfortunate incident that was going to happen and they request him to stop it. He further said that the DIG Tennakon has responded saying that there was no problem as roadblocks have been erected. He added that the parliamentarian Ashu Mara Singh also telephoned him and informed of the impending attack. Parliamentarian Patirana also said that he informed the President of the danger. He added that the President has instructed over the telephone the officials to stop the attack. He has also said that the IG told the president that the IGP said not to stop the attack. He further said that at this instance, the president told the DIG that he is the president of the country and to immediately stop the attack. Thereafter, upon the president's order, the attack was stopped using tear gas. He also said that their properties were also lost during the including houses. The police and the army did not attack to safeguard their properties. He has requested to remand the police officials who have failed to maintain the law and order.
Now, today at Parliament, there has been an interesting debate as well. This was between the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Now we bring you that exciting, interesting debate at Parliament.
අපිට බේත් නෑ වර්ග 14ක් නෑ ඔබතුමන්ලා බාර ගන්න හුස්ම එකක් කරන්න මම අපේ තානාපති කාර්යාලය වලටත් කියන්න අපේ මගේ අමාත්‍යාංශෙත් කවුරු හරි දෙන්නම් හුස්ම වැඩසටහනෙන් එක බෙහෙත් වර්ගයක් අපිට ගෙනත් දෙන්න කියලා අපි ඉල්ල අපි එකට වැඩ කරමු ඒකට.
I have to tell you, we primarily focus on equipment, right? So there is, no, I have to tell you what we can do.
The most urgent, especially for diabetes and the heart medicines, will give you all whatever you can raise. Because the rural hospitals haven't got this. Colombo hospitals have it.
So, Honorable Speaker, replying to the Honorable Prime Minister, as far as medicines are concerned, I want to explain the fact that we are only in a position at this present juncture to provide life-saving hospital equipment, right? So we will do that, and in addition to that, he mentioned about one particular medicine that if we can take over and try to provide, I don't think we may have the funds to provide the whole country while being in the opposition, but as much as possible, we will try to provide all the important life-saving medicines. And I want to tell you, Honorable Prime Minister,
money from the private sector will bless it.
Yeah. Honorable Prime Minister, I mean, our party does not spend 24/7, 365 on marginalizing you. We actually want to incorporate you.
Yeah.
So since you are just an individual in the Parliament, since you are, possessing one seat, I mean, we respect you. You have been a former Prime Minister several times over, and you were my political leader when I was in the United National Party. One thing my father has taught us, we respect leaders. Unlike many who have a distaste for you. Unlike many who have a distaste for you, we respect political leaders.
Okay.
So I don't want to marginalize you.
No.
Since you are just a singular person, I will incorporate you. Don't worry.
I have come here, Honorable Speaker. I am very happy because I come here. These are all SLFPers who left the UNP. They broke away from our party. I'll incorporate them first in the UNP, then we'll get you back, but you are a sitting member.
And meanwhile, today marks the completion of the full liberation of the motherland from tiger terrorism.
Now, this is a recollection of the horrendous past experiences.
The LTT organization, which has displayed its savagery and brutality to the world, had commenced the beginning of its end of July 2006. The barbaric nature of the LTT terrorists had been amply demonstrated through their closing down of a vital agricultural irrigation supply that was the Mavil Aru Anicut in Serunura. The tiger terrorists, through this action, had destroyed nearly 30,000 acres of cultivated lands in the Serunura farmer settlement. Tens of thousands of farmer families were confronted with a serious problem of finding water for their daily requirement. Apuri operated rejected of the government to reopen the Anicut. It had been compelled to commence a humanitarian operation to restore water supply. The army had been able to resume cultivation activities for the farmers. Then President Mahinda Rajapaksa has ordered the three armed forces to eradicate terrorism from the eastern province. A program had been carried out through coordination of then Defence Secretary and present President Gotabaya Rajapaksa through the planned military action under the leadership of then Army Commander Lieutenant General Sarath Fonseca. Accordingly, operations had been extended to many areas including Sampur, Wakarei, Kadiraveli, Toppikala and Kanchikuriyaru. It was in July 2007 that the entire eastern province was liberated from terrorism. Thereafter, an operation has commenced from Silawatura in Mana to free the entire country from terrorism. The 58th Brigade, headed by present Army Commander General Shavendra Silva, had commenced operations towards the north from Pana. The 57th and 59th Brigades has also contributed to expedite the liberation of the north. The 8th Battalion had paved the way for the final battle against the Tiger terrorists by advancing in 9 war fronts. The Tigers were experiencing bitter defeat by February of 2009. They were concerned in a tiny stretch of land in Pudukkudiripu. The gallant security divisions were careful not to harm innocent civilians in the operations. The victory day of the battle was recorded on the 18th of May in the year 2009. It was in the following day that the communique relating to the complete liberation of the motherland from terrorism had been declared. Tiger leader Velupelli Prabhakaran was killed in an army attack. Then the Air Force, the Navy and the Special Task Force as well as the Civil Defence Task Force had also contributed directly and indirectly towards the humanitarian operations. The police and the Civil Defence Task Force were engaged in protecting the captured area. It has also been pointed out that the gallant war heroes who have saved the people from terrorism had later on committed themselves in rescuing the people of the country in the eradication of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Now, promotions have been granted to 14,401 officials of the 3 armed forces parallel to the 13th Gallant Soldier commemoration, which falls today. Accordingly, 396 Sri Lankan army personnel have received promotions. In addition, promotions have also been given to officials representing 8,110 ranks. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, in his capacity as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has authorized the promotions. On the recommendations of Chief of Defence Staff of the Ministry of Defence and Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lanka Army, General Shavendra Silva. Promotions have also been extended to 440 officials and other officials representing 3,361 ranks in the Sri Lanka Air Force. They have been presented on the instructions of the Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lanka Air Force, Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana. Similar promotions were also given to 2,084 personnel of the Sri Lanka Navy under the instructions of Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lanka Navy, Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugathana. 9 senior officials and 65 junior officials have been promoted to their next ranks. Meanwhile, 2,010 senior and junior sailors engaged in permanent and voluntary divisions have also been promoted to their next rank.
And meanwhile, people in Velamoli Vaikal Bulativ have organized a function to commemorate their relatives who were killed in the final stages of the war in the north in the year 2009. The event has been organized by the Mulivaikal Commemoration Organization of the North and East. The people have remembered the dead by lightning lamps. The commemoration has been conducted for the 13th occasion.
Now, agitations are being conducted in front of the President's office in Golface Green for the 40th day today. Today's special feature included the arrival of 2 newlywed couples to the protest site. A cinema exhibition was conducted yesterday as well.
එම භූමියේ රැඳී සිටින ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් සිනමාපට ප්‍රදර්ශනයද ඊයේ සිදු කෙරුණා. ගලු මුදුර වෙරළ ආශ්‍රිතව අද විශේෂ සැමරුමක්
A special commemoration on the final days of the war in the north also took place at the location. All those who were killed in Velamuli Vaikal in the final days of the war were commemorated by lighting lamps.
මේ ගහට සියලුම යුද්ධයේ වින්දිතයන්ගේ ජීවිත මනුෂ්‍යත්වයෙන් සමුගැනීම අපිට මහා දරා ගන්න බැරි හිස්කමක්. ඒ නිසා මනුෂ්‍යත්වයේ ඛේදවාචකය නැවත සිදු නොවනු පිණිසයි මේ 18 2022
And meanwhile, Hirunika Premachandra of the Samagi Janabalawege says that the goal-face protesters who remain dormant should be reactivated in order to resume the struggle. And she made these remarks in a media briefing held in Colombo today. Hirunika Premachandra said that the country has been exposed to a high inflation which has never been experienced in the country. An ordinary citizen will have to stay in queues daily for 5 or 6 hours. When they return to their residences, they have to face power cuts. She also called on agitators that their inactive status must come to an end.
පරිප්පුයි බතුයි කකා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියනවා පරිප්පු කියලා කියන්නේ දුප්පතාගේ ආහාර. හැබැයි දැන් පරිප්පුයි බතුයිවත් කන්න විදියක් නැහැ මිනිස්සුන්ට. ඉතින් මේ සියලු කාරණාත් එක්ක ඔබ මතක් කරලා බලන අවසානයේ සාමාන්‍ය වෙතනයක් ගන්න පවුලක් කෙනෙක්ගෙන්
Now, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana says it has been a unanimous decision of the government parliamentary group to propose the name of Ajit Rajapaksa to the post of Deputy Speaker.
And the Peramuna issuing a communique says no request or a proposal has been presented regarding extending support to any other male or female candidate. A vote of the election of a deputy speaker was scheduled on the first day of the recommencement of parliamentary session due to the resignation of Ranjit Siamalapitia, who was elected in a vote to appoint a new deputy speaker on the 5th of this month in parliament. The SLPP further said that a meeting was conducted in this regard on the 14th of this month, presided over by the president. It has also been unanimously agreed upon the meeting that support should be extended to Ajit Rajapaksa in this connection. The SLPP communique adds that no proposals was presented at the meeting by the Prime Minister or any other person regarding considering another name for the post of Deputy Speaker. It further says that no other name has been proposed at the government parliamentary group meeting held at 9 a.m. yesterday.
Now, the Prime Minister has sent replies to the letters forwarded by parliamentarians Patali Shampika Ranavaka, Harin Fernando and Manuchananya Kara.
Court. I have studied the present situation by convening officials for discussion of the future case of action. I have also conducted talks with numerous groups upon assuming duties in the post of Prime Minister. Accordingly, preparations are being made to enlighten the general public on the anticipated program as well to declare true and accurate information pertaining to the present economic situation. My belief is that the country could be brought into a stable level through strenuous commitment in the implementation of a correct program. This could be achieved only by directing the national on a new political path by going beyond the traditional political and receiving the cooperation of all parties concerned. The opinion of the goal-face protesters is that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa should vacate the post of presidency. However, the opinions of groups such as the Bar Association of Sri Lanka is that the executive powers of the post of president should be withdrawn. Therefore, my opinion is that further action in this regard should be taken upon discussions with the president. I fully agree with the 6 proposals presented by you. A speedy program by action should be placed before the country via the proposed National Council comprising of political party leaders with the agreement of all the citizens. The Prime Minister response to the letter presented by parliamentarians Manuchananya Kara and Harin Fernando was based on 8 facts. Court. The issue of removing Gotabaya Rajapaksa from the post of president, I hope to establish an executive which is responsible for the parliament by curtailing the powers of executive president through a constitutional revision. The law will be implemented against those who were responsible for the attack on a peaceful protest at Gotagogama. I have requested the IGP to report the speaker on the progress of the ongoing investigations. Accordingly, the progress will be evaluated. Implementing the law against frauds and corruption, I will not hesitate to take measures to end the culture of fraud by implementing implementing the law and without being subjected to undue influences. I have no objections on conducting a parliamentary election as soon as the country gains stability. However, the country should be brought into a stable position within the next few months to the great dedication. Therefore, I expect the cooperation of yourself for the establishment of a non-party government. End of quote.
Now, a power cut of a duration of 3 hours and 40 minutes will be enforced tomorrow and the day after. Accordingly, a 2-hour power cut will be implemented between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. A further 1 hour and 40-minute power discontinuation will take place between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Now, 4 suspects, including parliamentarian Sanat Nishanta and Milan Jayatilaka, who have been arrested in connection with the attacks in Golf Face and in front of the temple trees, have been ordered to be detained till the 25th of this month.
Magistrate of the 4th Magistrate Court says the granting of bail to the suspect has been rejected upon consideration of the facts of a possible public uprising due to their release prior to the completion of investigations. The magistrate has also ordered to produce before an identification parade the arrested former provincial councillor Amal Silva and an employee of the Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council. Deputy Solicitor General Riaz Bari, appearing on behalf of the CID, said that investigations have revealed that Sanat Nishanta and Milan Jayatilaka, currently in custody, have been actively involved in the attacks in Gota Gogama and Maina Gogama. The magistrate has orders to place the suspect until detention till the 25th of considering facts presented by the CID and the BASL and attorneys at law of the parties of the victims. Meanwhile, 4 persons arrested on the suspicion of causing damages and setting fire in Verakatia and Madhabulana have been detained till the 25th of this month and by the Valasbula Magistrate Court today. 4 more suspects have been taken into custody in this connection by the Tangol Division of Criminal Investigation Unit today. Suspects have also been arrested in connection with causing damages to the D.A. Rajapaksha Memorial in Madhabulana and damaging name boards of a filing station in Verakatia. So far, 16 suspects have been taken into custody in this connection. And the Commissioner General of Essential Services KDS Ruwan Chandra says farmers will be provided with relevant fuel supplies needed for the cultivation in the Yala season.
Fuel will be provided according to a systematic plan for the machinery and vehicles used in agricultural activities by considering it as an essential service. The Commissioner General of Essential Services further says several filling stations in each district have been selected on the recommendations of the district secretaries for the issuance of fuel to farmers. The Commissioner also informs farmer organizations to receive necessary fuel according to a plan prepared by the Divisional Secretary in the respective Divisional Secretariat Division. A 23-day satyagraha conducted by the Jatika Govijanaika Mutua came to an end at the Polduwa Junction in Battaramulla today.
The agitators have concluded their protest action following a clarification made by Venerable Kirinde Asajithera of the Gangarame, who has arrived at the site. Venerable Kirinde Asajithera was reported to have told the protesters that the Secretary to the Prime Minister has given him a guarantee that a speedy solution will be given to the problems of the farmers. President of the Jatika Govi Ekamuthu Anurada Tenakon has stated on this occasion that they will engage in another satyagraha if speedy solutions were not provided to the demands.
Now, Commissioner General of Examinations LMD Dharmasena says a request has been made from the Prime Minister's Secretary and the Commissioner of Essential Services to declare supply of fuel to examination staff as an essential service. Addressing a media briefing at the Department of Government Information today, he further said a request has also been made to provide the facility on the regional level. Commissioner General of Examinations LMD Dharmasena said that he has requested the Commissioner, the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's Secretary to consider it as a priority to provide fuel to the examination staff. He also said that all communiques and orders in this connection should be provided on the regional level.
අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරා විශේෂ නිවේදනයක් යොමු කරන්නේ.
Chairman of the SOTB, Kingsley Ranawaka, said that they have in position the list of examination centres. They will be handed over to the regional depot managers. Arrangements are underway to deploy in service of the examination candidates the CESUS area and other special school buses.
විභාග කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයන් වෙත ඉන්ධන ලබා දීමේදී ගැටළු සහගත තත්ත්වයන් මතුවෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඒ අවස්ථාවන් මගහැරීම සඳහා ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගමනාගමන මණ්ඩලයේ සතුව පවතින ඉන්ධන යම් කිසි ප්‍රමාණයක් ඒ කාර්යයන් සඳහා වෙන් කරන්නට අපි මේ වන විටත් උපදෙස් ලබා දුන්නේ. සේවාව ලබා ගන්න හදුගේ සේවාව.
Deputy General Manager of Railways D.S. Polvattage said that train operations will be conducted continuously for the benefit of school examination candidates. Now, 4 persons were killed when 2 motorcycles clashed each other in Mudamavadi, Nallur in Jaffna last night.
Our correspondent says that the motorcycles which came in high speed were destroyed by fire. The fire service unit of Jaffna has disclosed the fire which was erupted over 10:30 p.m. One serious injured was admitted to hospital for treatment. The Kombai police station says 3 persons were travelling in one motorcycle without wearing helmets. Stay tuned for international news at the other side of this break.
ඩෙන්ගු රෝගයේදී උණ හිස රදය ඇඟපත වේදනාව ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. උණ අඩු කිරීමට පැරසිටමෝල් ඖෂධය පමණක් භාවිතා කළ යුතුයි. උණ දිගටම පැවතුණහොත් 3 වන දිනේදී වෛද්‍යවරයෙකු හමු වී රුධිර පරීක්ෂාවක් කරගත යුතුයි.
Welcome back. A person named Perry Walden, who is undergoing a 31-year prison sentence over the killing of Rajiv Gandhi, has been released.
And many political parties in the state of Tamil Nadu have expressed pressure over the decision of the Indian Supreme Court. Head of the panel of judges, J. Nageshwaran Rao, delivering the verdict, said Parivalini will be released based on the 142nd clause of the Indian Constitution. He was one of the 7 convicted killers of Rajiv Gandhi who has been serving a life sentence. They were given the death sentence in the year 1998 and later on it was reduced to a life sentence. A.G. Peralivalan was a 19-year-old youth at the time of the Rajiv Gandhi murder. He was charged with assisting to manufacture the bomb used by the suicide bomber. It has also been established through inquiries conducted by the director of the Central Intelligence Inquiry Board that offenders had been planned the murder for several months. Tamil Nadu lawmakers believe that the court decision would pave the way for the release of the main culprits of the Rajiv Gandhi murder case, Nalini and Murugan. And meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry has released footage of what it says are some of the wounded Ukrainian soldiers who have been evacuated from the Azovstal complex at Mariupol since Monday.
The video shows tired-looking men lying on beds in a hospital ward, wrapped in blankets with many staring straight ahead. If they are soldiers who were defending the steelworks, then they are now in the hands of the army that has bombarded them for weeks. Some tell the film crew they are being taken care of by doctors who have given them medication and changed their bandages. One man says the Russia's attitude is normal and he is not being subjected to physical or psychological abuse. Russia says nearly 1,000 fighters have so far surrendered and been taken to territory it controls. There are increasing fears of the safety since Moscow had said. Welcome back on Sports. Today is the 4th day of the first test of the current series between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The Sri Lanka team, playing their second innings, has scored 39 runs for the loss of 2 wickets at the close of play today.
The Sri Lanka team has scored 397 runs in the first innings. In reply, the Bangladesh team has scored 465 runs in the first innings. Accordingly, the Bangladesh team is 68 runs ahead of the Sri Lankan team in the first innings, and both Tamim Iqbal and Mushfiqur Rahim have scored centuries. Kasun Rajitha captured 4 Bangladesh wickets, and the 2 Sri Lankan battle dismissed today is playing Voshitha Fernando and Lasith Nambuldenia. Captain Dimuth Karunaratne remain unbeaten with 18 runs. Tomorrow is the final day of the match.
Prima Kotami, Pantamai.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Do join us tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. for the primetime news on Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Dulanjali together with Shaita signing off for tonight. Good night.
Good night.
I'm so lonely, broken angel. I'm so lonely, listen to my heart.
من دوست دارم به چشم من گریه نده نه نمیتونم بدون تو حالم بده
I'm so lonely, broken angel. I'm so lonely, listen to my heart. One and only broken angel. Come and save me before I fall apart.
تو هر جا که باشی کنارتم تا